Hey everybody, welcome to the Lone Wolf Show. And today I have a special guest, and they are on the big screen now on Witchcraft TV.
And today I have a special guest, Krys Copeland, Correllian Press, and also Speak Your Own Book. And we have today an interview where we flip the script. Krys?
Hi, it's good to be here. Thank you. Yeah, so today I'll be interviewing you instead of you interviewing me. I'm just really excited to get your story about the recent events that have been going on with Witchcraft TV and the recent experience that you had with this unfortunate hacking incident, and talk a little bit about how that Ed the Pagan Hubbard and I we wrote a book last year, Witch Wars 2. And we're using that kind of as a model to help you through this situation going on. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to have this conversation with you, and with the Witchcraft TV audience.
I think it's the best reciprocity, and academic research, I think, is very important and also brilliant to document right here on Witchcraft TV.
So I'll get started with just a few questions I have. First off, some people out there may not be aware yet of the situation that took place. But could you just talk a little bit first about Witchcraft TV in general? How did it get started? Who started it? Who was involved at that beginning stage? And how did that go as the ground kind of like kicked off with this?
Well, truth be told, I've had an unfortunate history of, a hard childhood, and bad enough where, I'm about to get, reciprocity, and things are about to change, financially for me. Praise the gods. And well, it happened when I was incarcerated. I was being mentored by the late Paul Barrow, a Neo-Alexandrian priest, who reached out to me, and I wanted to find a better life, a better way to live. And this particular priest of the craft had bestowed upon me the wisdom of Doreen Valiente from The Charge of the Goddess, which has historical roots not only with Doreen Valiente, but also with Charles Leland's book, Aradia, The Gospel of Witches. And regardless of where the excerpt comes from, The Charge of the Goddess changed the trajectory of my life forever, in terms of recidivism, in terms of alcoholism, and an approach to be and reach my highest ideals. And what I did was, when I came out of prison, naturally, I'm a musician and always endured music. I wanted to win the International Pagan Music Awards. And truth be told, in 2022, I reached that feat. And so 2022, that happened. After that, I was asked if I would become the program manager of another online pagan television station, and I gladly accepted, as media has always been an endeavor. And that particular online station, I think, very much wanted to tap into the current of Thoth, the current of Hermes, and my work with online podcasting, the Lone Wolf Show. And here we are. So I accepted, and I worked through the ranks, and was actively seeking active clergy within a Kemetic tradition. And unfortunately, in that particular tradition, things as they must, they happens, and pagan media can be somewhat cutthroat, and the agenda of the hierarchy of that particular station didn't reach my highest ideals. It closed many doors, and I've wanted them to stay open. At the end of the day, I'm a seeker, still a seeker, and contrary to public, knowledge, or people that watch me and watch my trek, coming out of the penitentiary. I am not an initiated in any particular tradition. I'm still an active seeker. I am a potential dedicant of a particular tradition, and at this time, it's not made public what tradition. I am still on the path of seeking. But after I resigned from this particular online television station, I wanted to create something that was fair representation for all paths, all witches, and all magical peoples, where those walls were not put up or dictated by any particular organization, tradition, or dictatorship, or to that extent. So Witchcraft TV was born. And not without formal training of pagan media. So I took that negative experience and, well, turned it into a positive endeavor. And Witchcraft TV was born. I had said that it was so publicly on social media platforms. And at the time, it's no secret, somebody that was playing my music manager alongside me and accompanied me to the 2022 Music Awards and other festivals around the country. She went ahead and she purchased a domain very impulsively. And at the same time, parallel to that, I purchased another piece of software that formulated and had the inception of what is known as Witchcraft TV. Now, the domain in question is just a platform where it streams to. The original Witchcraft TV is on a broadcasting software by the name of Stream TV, which is legally associated with my personal email account, Harold Carter 880 at gmail.com, if anybody would like to contact me. And that particular association is, and this is all very truthful. This is my relative truth. So yeah, there we have the inception. So Witchcraft TV becomes the official station for all pagan, witch, and magic paths, where there's no dictatorship, and solely the mission is to offer a voice for all witches, and not particularly the narrative of any particular group, organization, or craft family.
I love that because, I think everybody has had an experience where they go into an organization, and it doesn't even have to be a pagan organization. It could be a job that you're going to, and found out that, like, the hopes that you had for what this organization would be didn't line up with reality, and didn't line up with what you want in your own life. If you have to go into a work environment of any kind, whether it's volunteer or paid, and you don't feel like you're contributing to something that matters, that's on your own personal path, yeah, it's incredibly depressing to stay in that situation. So I'm glad you found your way out and started this platform that brings people from all paths within the community together, and it unites us in this one way around the news of the day, the entertainment that you provide, the education that you provide through your shows is really fascinating, and I love watching it grow. We've done projects before in the past on Witchcraft TV, on Correllian TV, and other stations, and it's been a lot of fun watching your progress over the past couple of years with this. So now to kind of get into, like, the more modern day situation, what's happened in the last few days, the person that you spoke about, your former music manager, Monica Bridges, and I'm sure if you've heard about the recent events, you're already familiar with her name, but she accessed an account of yours. And this was after a personal falling out or a personal fight, argument between you two, and then she came into your professional platform. Is that, yes. Can you kind of put it in your own words? Because I'm going based off of what I know about the situation, but I would love for the audience to hear it from you.
Sure. One thing about operating in any organization, particularly in the pagan community, or family or network, in any capacity, one always likes or needs workers, people that are going to put in the blood, sweat, and tears, the time and the energy. And at the inception, when I was trying to win the Pagan Music Awards, when I was offered the opportunity on the as a program manager for the other now very irrelevant online pagan television station, Monica acted as a moderator, somebody that helped me put in those blood, sweat, and tears. And they were still a moderator on the active YouTube channel, my personal account, attached to that Harold Carter 880 at gmail.com. And well, and this is a learning curve for me too, Krys. She was left there, and I didn't often go into the YouTube channel as I'm very, very busy with, lots of other media content with running this station, putting up the reels, doing the interviews, operating Witchcraft TV all by yourself is a very, very hard endeavor and very challenging when you have so many different personalities within the infrastructure of what is contemporary witchcraft. So she was left there and through a back door and very stagnant in the functions within the Witchcraft TV network. Out of the blue, all of a sudden, the YouTube channel was deleted. So it was deleted, and also she was involved in which set up the domain, which is just the website. And since then, she had given me all access to the GoDaddy domain. And I have since spoken with the representatives from the domain, and that particular site is going to be forwarded because we have two authentic verification, I think it's the term for it. Now, believe it or not, the lone wolf is not tech savvy. Well, maybe I am in video editing, but there's lots of learning curves with what is pagan media. There's lots of learning curve with what is online television. I mean, this is an innovation that the pagan community has really never trekked before. This is a new thing. We're living in a time when blog talk radio and online radio is now becoming debunked. It is now a thing of the past, and we are moving into new thresholds in the wonderful age of Aquarius, where online video and television is becoming a new opportunity, and I'm glad to be part of that opportunity. So yes, lots of things like that. I think that there's lots of entitlement issues that revolve around this, but I think what really should be the focus is putting in the work. And the element of jealousy, the element of entitlement. And I really want to say that as somebody as passionate as I am with trekking a path of online media and television, with my history of, what I was talking about, the highest ideal model and where I'm coming from, and functioning, in society and coming from a really shady past, reaching my highest ideals and shedding that skin of, criminal thinking and having better cognitive thinking, alleviating, getting rid of, a mentality, full of bigotry and hate. It's a different world, and the penal institutions in the world. So to be able to move beyond that, it's a culture shock, but on the principles of, like I was talking about, Charles Leland and Dorley Valiente and The Charge of the Goddess and the wonderful magic and current bestowed upon me from the late Paul Barrow, my trajectory has been exactly what it is. I hope that answers your question, Krys.
Yeah, absolutely. It really gets to the heart of this matter, which is that regardless of whatever personal situation or personal vendetta that Monica has against you, it has nothing to do with your professional work. And that is something that is completely separate. Whatever, in my opinion at least, whatever is done in the privacy of people's homes or behind closed doors, that's what happened there. And that's very different from the platform that you create and a professional environment that you create. No one has the right to take that away from you, regardless of what argument happened before. That's really the kind of what breaks this down into. This could be like a criminal issue at this point because she unlawfully accessed information and accounts that she did not own, that were not hers, that she did not create or build, and did not really contribute to much at all after 2023, I believe. So as this happened, you go on there and you see that, years of your work were just gone. How did you feel in that moment? That had to be pretty challenging to deal with.
I mean, it's definitely challenging. It definitely strikes pain. At the same token, I mean, the archives on, the YouTube channel, serves as a storage device. And, we're going to talk about, if we talk about ownership and, people who own, property, digital property. I mean, that's all good and well. And I may very well own the property and all, serial rights to what is called the Lone Wolf Show. But at the end of the day, it's my official statement that the Lone Wolf Show doesn't belong to Harold Carter. It belongs to the pagan community. It belongs to the historical archives of the future of what is contemporary witchcraft. I mean, these are interviews from various people from across the board, authors, pagan leaders, pioneers, movers, shakers. I mean, and it's all been documented. Some of these movers and shakers and, prestigious pioneers are no longer here. They have passed on to the Summerlands, and it just becomes a detriment. And although I am trying to recover some of them because they were uploaded to different platforms, it's just a challenging endeavor because, well, the video quality is not the same. Fortunately, I do have people in the community, other people that work in the pagan media field who are helping me restore these lesser quality videos of the same interviews. But there is a restoring process. So it's not particularly over, but it's definitely a thorn in my side. And, I mean, a mosquito bite, we'll just say, that hurt and itched for a long while, but those mosquito bites are going to heal, and we're going to be moving forward.
Yeah, and you took basically the guidelines that we laid out in Witch Wars Volume 2 last year with Ed Hubbard, with establishing that two-factor authentication and establishing this protocol for how to get someone out who's accessed the system unlawfully. And, we're continuing to follow that protocol even into potential court cases and litigation that may result from this if this hasn't been resolved satisfactorily. And you're absolutely right that it's really sad that we lost, especially the high quality interviews from those people that aren't with us anymore. And now I actually had my own little bit of a moment where it hit me really hard when I found out that our interview that we had done together a year ago was gone. And it's like that was for me, like being on Witchcraft TV, being on the Lone Wolf podcast was like, and I told you this in our chat, was like a bullet on my pagan resume, a big bullet on my pagan resume, and that I wanted to, share with people. And I was proud of it that I had done that. I accomplished that with you. And it was also like a great conversation that we had. And, I connected with you, and now it just feels like it's all in my head and it never happened because that evidence no longer exists that it happened. And yeah, that's personally was kind of like a loss for me, that that moment, that hour of our life, it was just gone so quickly. And from someone who had no right to be accessing it at all. So my next question for you, Harold, is could you tell us a little bit about how you made that happen with regaining access to everything? What was the process that you went through to re-secure everything, and then also to try to get the information back, get the data back, and prevent her from causing further damage?
Well, first and foremost, the process was a total lack of sleep. Lots of cups of coffee to stay awake. In doing that process, I still have to work the station. I still have to do programming. I still have interviews. I still have people to network with, all the while re-downloading, all of the content. And at the moment, I'm finding the best software that I can run through, programs, particularly I think with AI, that's putting, the pixels together a little bit stronger and representing these interviews and, documents back into rotation within the website and further securing them. I think we're living on the edge of the importance of a flash drive and the terabyte in the storage, to hold our digital archives a little bit more sacred, so hail to the digital dragons out there that are really formulating a way to safeguard, our modern day books of shadows, so to speak, if we want to talk about that capacity. Also, other things that I've been doing is two-factor authentication, particularly with the domain, the website, which it makes it a lot harder for hackers, and also taking more observing, passwords, stronger passwords, to get into these things, and things of that nature. I think that about sums it up. And it becomes a learning curve of how easily somebody can go in and, become very destructive. And one of the things that, I'm trying to avoid is, destructive behavior, because let's face it, I come from a destructive atmosphere where people are very negative, very baneful. And that particular lifestyle is not a lifestyle that I want to embrace. I'm still wholeheartedly trying to embrace the lifestyle of highest ideals and to bring Witchcraft TV, the platform, the community, to its highest ideals. We must give ourselves protection, and that includes flash drives and becoming the best digital dragon that we can be.
I think that's excellent. Yeah, and it's something that we talk about. We give full details for how to do that in the Witch Wars 2 book. It is available on CorrellianPublishing.com and on Amazon. So if someone is looking for a step-by-step guide on how to do that, that's a great resource. Also, the Witch Wars Volume 1 is available free on our website. So that information is still really relevant today, although it is a bit dated tech-wise. And if for whatever reason, if you're struggling with money right now and you can't afford it, to our audience members, contact me and I'll make sure you get a copy, because this is so important to have this information that we want to make sure it is available to everyone. Even if you can't afford to purchase the book itself. Just reach out to us at correllian.publishing@gmail.com for that. So thank you, Harold, for talking about that. I'd like to talk a little bit because the first hack happened last Wednesday, but it wasn't the only hack that happened, because I received emails confirming that she had tried again on Friday. Is that correct? Can you tell us a little bit about what you experienced on Friday with that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, ultimately, the YouTube channel was deleted, but also within the email system with our website, we have a way where we can interact with the community. And this is international. People from England can talk to us, Australia. We get these emails, and it becomes an issue where she was having access to this, where she was maliciously emailing subscribers and people that were involved with the infrastructure of Witchcraft TV on that particular website. So that was another thing. Another thing that was happening was when you log into the system as an admin to control what's going on on the website itself, I was getting notifications that somebody was trying to log in, and with those notifications, it gives you here is your PIN code to validate that you're the right person. And I was getting these at 2 a.m., 3:45. And, it was coming across in my emails, my personal emails. And, of course, I'm not going to like send them out to be hacked into, but that's kind of the ongoing attacks. And also lots of just like hearsay and, communications or like false narratives that's been happening with the individual. And I can just say, and I can assure you that Witchcraft TV is secure. And we are just moving forward, and we are taking this as a learning curve. And I want to explain one thing, particularly with the manual that you're talking about. The Lone Wolf Show, and personally, as a seeker of contemporary witchcraft, I've utilized the podcast, reaching out to the wisest people in humanity that I can find. And that means talking to various elders, authors, and just people that are, well, the wise ones of humanity, because that's what witches are. We are the wise ones. And part of my journey, part of my trek was interviewing folks like Ed Hubbard, who, have published documents like that. So ultimately, it is the Lone Wolf Show that is utilizing this wisdom from the community to protect itself. So the learning curves just become full 360 circle. And this is the truth. This is my relative truth.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it's really important that people understand that, like, clearly you did make a mistake in not having that two-factor authentication set up. Clearly there was a security lacking, but that wasn't a malicious mistake on your part. That was an innocent mistake. You did not know any better, and then I also would like to just go through some of the accusations that she did make on both online as well as sending them to my business email. And that's something else I want to point out. In most witch wars that I've seen, that I've experienced, it's not nearly so cut and dry like this as far as who's in the right and who's in the wrong. Typically, when you have a witch war going on, they're both a little bit right and both a little bit wrong in that situation. And it's very messy, it's very complex, and it's hard to figure out, which side is which and, what to do in that situation, because you see two people you care about making some pretty bad decisions on both sides. But in this case, and when I first started investigating it, I thought that was what I was going to find, that there was some more situation going on than what first presented, and it's going to get messy and complex. But in this case, Monica herself sent the evidence against her to my email. And that's the first time I've ever seen someone incriminate themselves. And literally incriminate, because these are crimes that we're talking about. These are cyber crimes that we are talking about here, and theft of intellectual property as well. So some of the accusations that she made, one was that you had stolen the TikTok for Fringe TV and then just changed the name to Witchcraft TV. Could you talk a little bit about that and what the actual events for how that Witchcraft TV TikTok was created?
Sure, that's very easy to explain. I was just talking about the email account Harold Carter at 880gmail.com. Now, Harold Carter at 880gmail.com is the backing email that associates with this TikTok account in question. So that means that anything on that particular TikTok account, is I own. I mean, it's just there is no legal dispute to that, and that's very easy to explain. Yeah, and not only that, it's something easy to check too. That's what it's really difficult for me to wrap my head around Monica's thinking process during this situation, because if I were to try to pull off some criminal behavior, and then try to make my victim look like a perpetrator by spreading lies about this person, I wouldn't choose such easily disproven lies, because anyone can pull up your TikTok account and look at the very first video and see that all the videos, or the majority of the videos, you're in them. And certainly the ones at the beginning, you're in them. And it's attached to your personal Gmail, not any other Gmail. So
it's quite shocking to me that she wouldn't try harder to lie better. But it's great when maybe that does just show that deep down she doesn't like lying, and she's not comfortable with this. And that gives me hope that she will one day come to terms with what she's doing and change. But at this point, that's not the case. That's not what is happening. She is continuing to make these attempts. Now, Friday you secured the account, and Saturday, very late at night, my time, I think it was 12 o'clock at night, I was about to go to bed, I get another email from her, again on my professional email, saying that she's spoken with GoDaddy and she's going to take back the domain, and she's changing the password on Monday, and she's just doing this as a courtesy to you, so you have time to transfer everything over before tomorrow, Monday, to take care of this. But when I sent it to you, and I'm like, hey, is everything really secure? Because she says she's trying to hack it again, and here's the proof that she's trying to hack it. And you said to look at the date and the time on that particular notification, and it was the same attempt that she had on Friday, when you had already secured the account. So can you talk a little bit about just maybe Monica personally? Maybe you can explain a little bit about her as a person and why, perhaps what her thinking might be, or what her reasoning might be for doing this?
Well, one thing that I'll say, and I want to say that I do wish Monica well, and I do hope that she works on, her shadow self. But I will say that to me personally, this is not a witch war at all. This is a situation where a person feels entitled. Okay, this is a situation where a person doesn't put in the work and the sweat and the tears and countless hours into a platform, into a passion, and expects to be a part of something or get recognition for something, for an inception of something, when you don't put in the work. This is an entitlement issue. And this was a common denominator when I worked with her when she was my pagan music manager during my award process for the 2022 award that I had out there at Starwood Festival. Okay, she often feels left out. Okay, but if you're not putting in the work, it is preposterous to try to get recognition for something that you're not working for. Okay, you bear the fruits of your harvest by planting your seeds. If you're not planting the seeds and tending that garden and watering that garden and loving that garden, talking to that garden, then that garden is not yours.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that the garden analogy really makes sense because, she did help with the initial setup of the original, the domain, and that's, publicly available information. No one is denying that she set it up, but that's simply just putting a seed in the ground and hoping for the best. It's not tending it. It's not nurturing it. And you're the one that stepped in and did that. And that's great to. Mm-hmm.
And even when she set it up, that was an impulsivity on her part to feel involved in a moment of entitlement. I made a public announcement to the community at the inception. We're starting Witchcraft TV. I went and I got the streaming software where Witchcraft TV is there, actually, because the domain is just the platform where it goes. We all know that when Pagan World was active, Witchcraft TV also played there. And it wasn't running from the domain. It was running from the platform that I solely own. But this is just another variation of the entitlement. It's an impulsive thing where she had just set up the domain, without even asking me, saying, I made the domain because I don't want anybody else to take it, because she wanted an involvement. She wanted to be able to say that she's a part of this too. And well, she hasn't been putting in the work as part of this too. And a full wheel that's, 8 Sabbats have passed by, and, where has she been? I can tell you that the lone wolf has been there, and the lone wolf is going to stay here. And that's my public statement.
I think that sums it up really nicely, because in the end, legally, she might be in a lot of trouble over this situation, and clearly, psychologically, she's not acting in a way that is going to be good for herself or her future right now, and that is concerning, because at the same time, she up until this point was your friend and your music manager at one point in your life, and it must be incredibly difficult to have this betrayal come from someone that you trusted so deeply. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that feels?
I think one only treks the path and has learning curves. And sometimes the best thing to do is to cut the cords that bind to continue growth. I think sometimes to grow deeper roots and to progress, it's important to cut ties. I wish the very best for Monica in question. I hope that she learns her lessons in her lifetime. And I also hope that I learn my lessons. I hope that the community at large learns the lessons, of entering an innovative field such as online pagan television, that we can learn from this. For the future of whoever is doing, television for the pagan communities at large.
Exactly right. And, I wanted to just go through a couple of the other accusations that were made online, just to kind of nip it in the bud for people to know that these are clearly lies, because they don't even make logical sense. One in particular that I found quite disturbing just because of the connotations around it was Monica had told someone named Zira, who made a comment on my public post, and Zira said that you had made a comment about the priest needs to train the maidens, which of course has sexual connotations with it, inappropriate sexual connotations, because no priest should be training the maidens in any kind of way. Can you talk a little bit about, first off, your status as a priest, and secondly, the statement as a whole?
Yeah, sure. Contrary to public belief, I'm an uninitiated practitioner of the craft. I am only a seeker. I don't even have the formal training to train a maiden or anyone at all. I'm not even initiated, so that's just preposterous.
Thank you for clearing that up, because I could see how someone could take a joke out of context or take something more seriously than what it was, but in this case, the statement itself just doesn't make logical sense because you're not a priest, and so who would you be training? So thank you for clearing that up. The other one that I wanted to address was Zira had commented on the post that she had, or they, because I do not know their gender, I apologize for gendering, they had contacted you, and that you had failed to answer their question about this particular situation and whether or not it was true. Could you tell us a little bit about when you received that question from Zira, how you know Zira, and then what your response was, if any?
First, I want to talk about the priest thing. Okay, as far as like being a minister and having like a priestly existence through the infrastructure of Witchcraft TV, I would say I certainly am a priest. But within the scope of actual craft initiation and formal traditions, I am not initiated. So I probably do more than most third degrees in traditions, with my ministry with Witchcraft TV, but as far as being initiated in the capacity of a family structure, I am not. But as far as the interactions with Zira, I don't really know them. I've never met them. And when they asked questions like that, I kind of didn't respond in any capacity other than the same thing. I'm not, it's impossible for me even to explore the idea of doing that because, well, I'm not initiated into any particular craft tradition. So if we're going to keep it real, and keeping it real is exactly what I does. I keeps it real. It's part of my whole makeup that I keep it real because I am a sincere seeker of the craft. I got all kinds of haters. And for the haters out there, keep hating because you're making me relevant. And I'm glad that you are hating because without you hating, I no longer have relevance. And to be honest, we got haters, but guess what? We got hackers too. So I think we're doing pretty good over here. Let them talk. At the same time, I'm not going to attack people, like that. I'm better than that. I'm not going to attack people. I'm going to attack myself, build myself up, be better than I was, and not worry about being better than they are. I'm just not at the scope to attack people, but I will defend myself, to an extent. And I think that holds on to the very the teachings and disciplines of what Wicca really is. It's okay, to defend oneself, but not so honorable to attack people. So when people attack me, just know that for one, you're attacking a wolf, okay? I have the ego of the lone wolf, but sometimes I'm not so alone. Whether that's a brand or not, hopefully that answers them questions, Krys.
Yeah, I think it does answer them really well. I do want to add that I actually took a look at your entire chat log with Zira. You shared it immediately with me when I asked you. And what I saw, and I'm happy to share this if you're okay with that. What I saw on the timestamps was a 15-minute difference between when they asked you the question and when you responded that this was not true, that you're not a trained priest, that this is not possible. And so the statement that Zira made, which is still available for anyone to see on my Facebook, along with the screenshot of that particular message is up there, showing that Zira made this up, that they lied about how they contacted you and the way that you responded. It kind of makes me wonder who Zira is. And, there's a lot of people who make Finstagrams and fake books to go around and make nasty comments on people's posts when they don't want to be seen as who they are. And I wonder if Zira might be an alternate personality for someone online.
It's very possible. There's all kinds of fake books. But let me make something very clear, okay? Exactly. No one's ever heard of Zira, you know what I'm saying? And the whole fact that we're even talking about Zira, we're just sitting here making them bigger, okay? And I think that's a mistake all in itself. Okay, no one's ever heard of these people, and when they come in and they try to attack, somebody that they have heard of, because ego intertwined and everything else. Y'all have heard of the lone wolf. Y'all's heard of Harold Carter in Witchcraft TV. No one's ever heard of Zira. Right now, we're making her bigger than she already is. So I don't even feel like we should be even talking about people like this. It's not constructive. It's not helping the community. What kind of work do they do in the community? Okay, because I'm gonna let you know right now, I work hours and hours and hours to reach my highest ideals, be a better person than I was yesterday, and to make our community on Witchcraft TV better than it was yesterday, and be the best that we can be. And we don't attack people for what they've done in their past. We just ignore it. Okay, and that's best explained with my hit song, Toxic Circles Don't Pay Them No Mind. And that's what we need to do, is stop worrying about what other people are doing and worry about ourselves. Okay, and yeah, we just making Zira look bigger than nobody even heard of it until this. So I'm for real, Krys, I'm done talking about it, because I'm just making them bigger than they already are.
I understand that, and I absolutely respect that. So we'll just move on from there. I think really the important part of our conversation today is what your plans are next for Witchcraft TV, and what your goals are with, you know, the next step for making this even more secure from these kinds of attacks, because you know they'll continue increasing the bigger you grow. So what is your plan for defense going into the future?
Well, I think that this has been a great, terrific, marvelous learning curve. I am so fortunate that, you know, the first array of attacks have become internal, that it's become within the infrastructure of paganism and witchcraft itself, because as we progress and grow and become bigger, it's going to be bigger organizations that attack us. It's going to be the white nationalists that attack us. It's going to be Project 2025 fanatics that attack us. And they're going to cause a lot more damage than just this little mosquito bite. So with that, I'm glad. So we're going to make this negative thing into a positive thing. I think it's baneful just in itself to be even talking about all this gossip stuff. Witchcraft TV, we want to keep our anthem, fair representation for all witch, pagan, and magic paths. We're going to secure our archives more efficiently. We're going to focus on now and the future. We're not going to worry about what happened in the past. And we're just moving forward. We're going to be moving forward. There's a bigger infrastructure that's going to be laid out. We're working on a bigger, stronger board for better executive positioning. We're working on smarter people. Now, one thing I want to make clear is Witchcraft TV was solely run by one person, one stick. This new innovation, the trajectory is we're going to have about 5 or 6, 7, 10, a coven of sticks together. And now it's going to be a lot harder to break those sticks. So mind you, you couldn't break it when there was one stick. Now, when we have our group and our organization more put together, it's going to be a lot harder to break. And we are preparing for what is about to happen with the political shifts. And this has all been a learning curve. So we thank you to the haters. We thank you to the hackers. You make us relevant. We're reaching our highest ideals. We're moving forward. And that is my official statement.
Excellent. Can you tell me a little bit more about those sticks? Who do you want in on this project, and who are you looking for?
We are looking for people in the pagan community from an array, an umbrella of different organizations, different personalities, different lineage, different families, to be on a board to make better decisions to move Witchcraft TV forward. Witchcraft TV is a new thing. We're in an infant stage. Technology is advancing real fast. They're getting rid of blog talk radio. They're getting rid of online radio and radio stations altogether. We're moving into an adept digital age. So just like the anthem that I've always looked and tracked, I'm looking for the wisest people that I can find to have discernment. Okay. And that's exactly what we're doing with the infrastructure with Witchcraft TV. We're going to build a better community, a stronger community to secure the digital archives in conjunction. We are going to be digital dragons. The age of the flash drive is on our side, and we're going to start archiving. Archive, where the oppressors can't find it, where the haters can't get it, and where the hackers can't embrace it.
Excellent. So if someone is out there and listening to this right now and they're going, hey, you know what, I have a few hours I could donate to work on this project, and I believe in this project, and I like what Harold's done so far, and I'd like to help him on that path. What do they do? How do they contact you? And what would you like them to put in that contact?
To the very core, and I often talk about the core of things, but the very core of everything that has been created, and let's keep it real. Creation is the best magic. Harold Carter 880 at gmail.com. That's the best way of communication. I'm very easy to find. I'm on social media platforms, comments, to find, if you want to be a part of a growing community of something that has longevity, something that is righteous, something that uses collective discernment. I want Witchcraft TV to stop being the lone wolf and start being the entire community. I think there's a lot of shedding of skins going on. We're about to enter the Chinese astrological of the wood snake. We're shedding skins. We're shedding the old. We're gonna grow new skin, and this skin is gonna be Teflon. So just reach out. We're gonna be building an infrastructure with an actual board, voting members, and opportunity awaits. And we hope that you ride with us. We want to ride with the entire spectrum. We want fair representation. We want to include everybody. The witch wars, shit's over with. I don't even want to hear about it. It's time to step up and unite. We got pagan leaders out there that are on board with this. Not that they endorse Witchcraft TV, but this is their message. The biggest wizard in America right now, don't even got to say his name, been trying to unite the community since day one. And that's what the stance is with Witchcraft TV.
Absolutely. The political climate in particular is incredibly frustrating, but it's just another growing pain, right? We like shedding that skin. It's going to be painful, but it's part of it, and we'll get through it, and we'll come out stronger than ever. So for those that are sending out those emails, that are like typing in your email address right now, what do you want them to tell about themselves? What do you need to know in order to say, yeah, that's the person I need on my team?
We need people on our team that share the motive of the craft. Okay, we need people on our team without motives of financial gain. Okay, Gerald B. Gardner made it very clear that the craft is not made for financial gain. Okay, when you start having the motive to make money, it cheapens your craft, and that is the motive. We want people that don't want to cheapen their craft. We want people of passion. We want people of growth, of people that are willing to make mistakes and learn from the mistakes and keep going. We want people that can lose that snake skin, get rid of it, and keep growing and building. We want innovative people. We want people with good cognitive skills. We want people with discernment. We want people with relative truth. We want diplomatic people. We want people that aren't biased. We want people willing to come at the whole situation of a community that is unified and no longer segregated. The divisive nature of what is contemporary craft is foolish. It is so old school and needs to be gone. We are in the age of Aquarius.
Excellent. So yeah, that's very well said. Let's. I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm sending in my own on this one because I think that there are some places where I can help out with Witchcraft TV. So I'll definitely be sending in mine too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Witchcraft TV continue growing on this trajectory and continue to hit growing pains and challenges and overcome them every time. So let's do it. Yeah. I think that's all my questions, Harold. You wrapped it up very well. So do you want to take us out here?
Sure. Just always remember that Witchcraft TV is fair representation for all magic, witch, and pagan past. I'm so discombobulated right now, but it's for everybody. It's the voice of the community. It's not a dictatorship. We need your help. We want it to survive, and it's gonna survive. And let's do this, and let's unite the community. These silly disagreements need to stop, and the future of what is contemporary witchcraft counts on it.